This week's episode is brought to you by SM, Mind Blaster, and Roberto Rojas. Thank you, SM, Mind Blaster, and Roberto Rojas. It's with the supremely generous support of listeners like you that we get to keep constructing fractal phase inducement spirit wards encoded to sound exactly like a podcast about strange esoteric content every single week. If you'd like to help support research and development, please visit www.patreon.com/thewholerabbit, where your monthly donation of just $5 will get you access to our entire library of extended shows, a 5x5 vinyl sticker of our cover art, and a link to our Discord server, which is the best place to chat with the fans and creators of the show. On this week's Relaxed Fit episode, we discuss the hazardous affair of being born, why lactating breasts smell funny, Disney body horror, and what exactly is original slack and the Church of the SubGenius. In our extended episode, we discuss the origin of the birthday party, how we settled on calendars, and why there's so much corn in the afterlife. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Could I do? My baby's love had gone and left my baby blue.
Nobody knew.
Yep. I think Luke said he listened to all that album on the way down to LA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we didn't even have birthday cake.
Aw.
No, I didn't have time to.
Oh, I thought you got one and didn't eat it. I was like,
No.
We just had birthday gel.
Like in space, or like in some future dystopian Star Trek society, it's just everybody's eating gel.
Blow out the candles on your birthday gel. The candles are made of the gel, in fact. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Whole Rabbit, where we don't just celebrate their creator's birthday by taking the week off to drop acid and watch not one, but two different cut copies of Apocalypse Now concurrently while invoking the opener of the way in a Los Angeles recording studio 10,000 stories underground, staffed by thinly disguised lizard people with machine guns from the near future, and good relationships to the staff inside their well-conditioned HR department. Nay, we do all that and try to put together a highly improvised show about making babies cry and using their foreskin to stay eternally young, because this week, we're discussing the trouble of being born. I'm your host, Luke Madrid, the Hack Rabbit. This week, I'm joined by co-hosts, the Mama with the Commas, Mari Sama,
salutations.
the manager of the Metal Gears, Malachor 5,
Hola, amigos.
and Special Weapons Research Director, Hecka Astra.
Hello.
Whenever I go on X these days, I see threads about the GATE program. Does anybody else ever hear about the GATE program? I was in it. I was in the GATE.
I didn't know what it was until you brought it up.
I've never heard of it.
I was in a different program called the STAR program.
Stars.
See, what were they doing to us?
I mean, I just think it's kind of interesting that there's two programs, at least one that I was in and Luke was in, and if you put them together, you get Stargate.
It's pretty nerdy.
That's because they was grooming us to be the employees working on their secret space program.
So what
is this like MK Ultra stuff?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, Mari, maybe.
What is GATE for people who don't know?
Yeah,
Well-
really.
They told us it was for gifted and talented education.
Oh, I was in the gifted program. We called it space.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Now,
Oh, Jesus, no.
yeah, see, the pieces are starting to come together now, see?
I don't think Canada has the GATE program. I think they just call it like the gifted programs. Not every school has it, what I'm aware of. Like we all have honor roll, but not every school has the gifted program.
This particular program ended when middle school began. Also, I grew up right next to a military base that launches into polar orbit.
Huh, me too.
So I thought this whole GATE conspiracy thought was an interesting theory, and maybe it's not too far-fetched if we consider our favorite piece of literature to bring up on this show, Plato's Timaeus Dialogues, which deals with this exact issue very early in the text. In short, the elites ordained secret partnerships between good and bad parents, treating the offspring of these unions very differently. If some of the conspiracy theories about GATE program happen to be even a tiny bit true, it wouldn't be entirely far-fetched. The following is from the Timaeus, the dialogue being between Socrates and Timaeus. They're reviewing what they spoke of last time. Socrates says, "And do you also remember how, with a view of securing as far as we could best breed, we said that the chief magistrates, male and female, should contrive secretly, by the use of certain lots, so to arrange the nuptial meeting," that means sex, "that the bad of either sex and the good of either sex might pair with their like. And there was to be no quarreling on this account, for they would imagine that the union was of mere accident, and was to be attributed to the lot?" Timaeus replies,
I remember.
"And you remember how he said that the children of the good parents were to be educated, and the children of the bad secretly dispersed among the inferior citizens? And while they were growing up, the rulers were to be on the lookout, and bring up from below in their turn those who were worthy, and those among themselves who were unworthy were to be placed in those who came up?"
Timaeus then says, "True."
Socrates says, "Then have I now given you all the heads of yesterday's discussion, or is there anything more, my dear Timaeus, which I must outline?"
Which Timaeus replies, "Nothing, Socrates. It was just as you have said."
So, if any of our listeners have ever been in the GATE program, the STAR program, or the space program, and you secretly have a UFO, please tell us. Please write us about your experiences. We want to know if they made you drink the weird pink liquid too. I had a prescription for tiny purple fluoride pills at one point in my childhood. I don't know if it had anything to do with GATE program, but yeah, what in the H?
So what are the conspiracies around the GATE program?
Well, it's a lot like how they say in the Timaeus that they're grooming some children to be successful, and they're grooming other children to be
Burnouts.
Burnouts,
That's what
yeah.
happens to a lot of people that go through those programs. They either become hyper intelligent or they crash and burn after college or in college, for that matter.
So the anecdotal account of a lot of these people who used to be children in these programs are saying that they've had some sort of experience due to these programs?
Yes.
I also think that they use it as a way to use experimental teaching techniques, because a lot of the kids that go into these courses are, the only reason they're labeled that way is because they're either very intelligent and they learn so quickly that they're bored in class, or they learn a different way. Like some people can only learn visually and some people need to learn by like touching things or doing it with their hands. So from my experience, it was just a lot of like alternative teaching techniques. And like we were reading college level books in like 5th grade and stuff.
A lot of users on the internet report like weird alternative teaching techniques, stuff that wasn't normal for kids in that grade, like being taken out of school and taught how to do real estate or how to do business theory and being quizzed on it, or being taken on strange field trips.
I mean, how would you even know if it's a strange school trip or not unless you still remembered it as an adult and were looking back on it retrospectively?
Because
maybe
all
that
the
was
other
unusual. Like, I don't remember every single field trip I went on, but maybe there was some weird ones in there.
No, like all the other kids in your grade went and saw a ballet while you and all your friends went to go fly an airplane for the first time.
Yeah, but how would you even know that that's an unusual experience at the time?
Because all the other kids are doing something that you're not, and you're an outsider. Your little kids are cloistered from the rest, which is what it was like. To be fair, I grew up in California, where the military is probably our biggest export. It's our biggest industry, I should say. And so it makes sense that if kids had better career opportunities because of their upbringing, that a lot of them would go into military intelligence because it pays well. And those are the jobs that attract people that do well in education and are good at problem solving, et cetera, et cetera. And people that can pass like a security check. Because I had people come and like ask me questions because people I grew up with were going through their like security clearances and their checks and stuff. Yeah. So I know some of those people went into like, you know, confidential stuff that I don't know anything about, but
I had a secret clearance at once, but it was like the lowest one.
You had to have a secret clearance to watch the final episode of Sopranos because nobody spoiled that for me for like 15 years. Like, I still need to see it. Likewise, even from childhood, you're sort of boxed into your destiny by your leaders and your rulers. The whole trouble of incarnating is troublesome. So, in theory, following the trauma of death, we're taught in the schools of Tibetan and other sects of Vajrayana Buddhism in the Barthodal that, for the most part, the time between death and rebirth into a new body is 49 days. Ignoring what Rick Strassman says about the formation of the pineal gland around this time, it also coincides with the closing off of the vitelline duct, which separates the new fetus from its yolk sac.
What do you mean, yolk sac? We're not birds or reptiles, are we?
Well, you see, Mari, in the very beginning, We actually kind of are. There are some similarities between an early embryonic human and the embryonic stage of other species. The yolk sac is a little bit like an early placenta in that it provides nourishment to the early embryonic stages of development. Spotting the yolk sac during an ultrasound followed by a missed period is a pretty solid way to confirm a pregnancy, as the yolk sac develops almost immediately after fertilization. Besides just nourishment, this is where the primordial guts and intestinal tract are created, along with the cells which become the umbilical cord, reproductive organs, and blood cells. Aside from these important contributions, it also provides early metabolism and immune function to the embryo.
Yo, it's like that, you know, the gut pouch that's that giant muscle that controls all of your stomach.
Yeah.
But it's not a muscle. It's like a second brain. Is that what that thing is?
It's a little bit like your early brain. Like most of your organs are inside of there and they slowly get extruded in early cellular format into the body stock, as it's called.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's so interesting because we have something like that when you're an adult that holds your guts in, basically.
So it's around 49 days that this yolk sac is just cut off from the whole situation. It's no longer needed. So I thought that was kind of interesting. In an esoteric sense, this closing of the ventilating duct reminds me of the transition from the Fool to the Magus card in the tarot, symbolized by the unpacking of the Fool's sack, which contains all his elemental constituents.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. That's a really good interpretation.
Likewise, the Hebrew letter associated with the Magus is bet, which means house, something that the fetus now has in its bubble of amniotic fluid once the yolk sac is no longer needed. This is also around the time the limbs can be felt moving on ultrasound for the first time, implying that the fetus, for the first time, is moving by itself. Like it has some mobility. It doesn't really have elbows yet, though. And it's sort of until this point, it could be like any animal. Well, you know what I mean? Like most animals look kind of the same in this stage, but it's really like when they, like after the sac is gone and they get like little elbows and they start to get a little face, you know? So I thought that was interesting that correlation happens between 49 days and the Tibetan Book of the Dead.
Oh.
People really hate when you make connections like that, but I thought it was fun.
It's before the fetus starts to differentiate. Because like you said, for a while we look like pretty much every other mammal, and even, you know, reptiles, birds, everything else. We all kind of look similar up until that stage.
People who don't like evolution theory, that want to believe that God created everything, or like people or humans separate, when scientists were bringing all this information out, like, oh, this is how we all look in the embryo, it's kind of proof that we all evolved from some common ancestor. They hate hearing that.
Yeah.
Reminds me a little bit about how Goethe believed in a universal plant spirit of some kind, like this primordial plant soul. Because all plants kind of look the same a little bit. He thought maybe they all came from one thing.
That sounds plant racist to me.
It is interesting, though, because seedlings look different than their adult plant bod, like the form of the adult plant. And I get a lot of seedlings confused because the first leaves that come out are usually similarly shaped. They're like pointy and slender so that they can poke out of the seed.
Are you talking about when it's first germinating?
Yeah, like when they first come out of the seed, it's sometimes a little hard to differentiate different plants.
Yeah. Like when I've been gardening, I usually let them go into at least 1 or 2 inches before I can tell.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's like, well, maybe it could be a weed or it could be tomato.
Embryonic humans are a little like that.
I guess just embryonic life forms are a lot like that.
So for a while, things are great. It floats safely in the warm fluid of the mother's womb, being provided everything it needs to the calming metronome of mother's beating heart, nutrient pulsing into it all the while. Some speculate this period of having a body, the very first part, is pleasant beyond compare and coincides with the subjective state called oceanic bliss, which humans seek out and find in various forms throughout life.
Unless you're a shark, some shark species eat each other in the womb.
I think some humans eat each other in the womb.
It's true.
I think I may have done that. But I made a list of the ways that people seek out oceanic bliss in life.
Go.
Drugs and pot, meditation, drinking milk of human breast variety specifically, don't let being a grown-up stop you, getting food high, napping, virtual reality, prolonged sexual arousal, sexual release, pain-inducing techniques can sometimes arouse oceanic bliss, like hanging yourself from piercings or getting tattoos, jumping off bridges terminally or for repeated enjoyment, skydiving, looking at the sky or pondering the universe, and humans going back to space. I'm sure there's other ways to experience oceanic bliss.
Yeah, like taking a tab of acid and
That's
losing
under
your
drugs.
mind block. Yep, that's true.
See,
Look,
I got it.
When you're like hanging from hooks pierced through your skin, I believe that's referred to as suspension.
That would have been the correct word to use. You can attain oceanic bliss through pain that way.
There's also like clay piercing. Clay piercing is when you do temporary surface piercings with like very thin gauges, like, like smaller than 20 gauge. Like they're very, very small, more like hypodermic needle size gauges. People will do a series of surface piercing in their skin anywhere, really, like sometimes on the back or arms or legs or wherever. And then, so you'll have this whole line of multiple piercings through the flesh. And sometimes people will like touch them and they get like different sensations from them. That's the thing that some people do.
Yeah, I've heard of people getting married like while suspended.
Yeah, suspension is different than clay piercing. With clay piercing, you're not really like hanging off of these piercings. They're just like a lot of different surface piercings through the flesh for the purpose of how it feels.
One way I get oceanic bliss is definitely inside of a mosh pit.
Oh yeah.
You get like beat up so much. I just go into this meditative state where I don't feel any more damage, and you just go. It's like bodies of people turn into like this liquid, and you're just moving around in there.
I think some people do float tanks for this same reason too, an oceanic kind of floating, blissful experience.
I like raving myself until I'm exhausted.
But we do all that stuff in the name of essentially going back into the womb of the mother.
That comfort that you just can't replicate it.
All to feel weightless again.
It's like coming home.
It's like
We know this oceanic bliss relates back to the mother, in the same way that the name Mary relates back to mother. It's a similar idea. So, along with being born, there are some special features that come along with the woman's body. You know those tiny bumps that you see on the areolas?
Yes.
They're called Montgomery glands.
It's kind of a strange name.
It reminds me of Mr. Burns.
Oh no.
Their purpose is to produce a natural lubricant that protects the nipple and areola. This specialized lubricant, in fact, it smells just like amniotic fluid, which is what the baby has been smelling and tasting for the entire pregnancy. Likewise, the baby is attracted to the smell of home, and it helps the baby to navigate to the breast so they can latch on and feed.
Wow, I find that really interesting. I never knew what they were for.
I still don't understand why males have nipples.
You can lactate in a case of an emergency.
What?
Yeah, if you're under extreme stress, I think it's like, and doesn't it also happen if there's like a child around with no mother?
Yes, and especially if they try to like latch on, your body will start producing milk if you're a male.
It may not be enough to sustain it, but it's like an emergency thing that happens to basically, it's like a survival thing.
Yeah, when I first heard about that, I didn't believe it, and I ended up looking it up, and that's the thing.
And I used to be like all pissed that men have nipples. I'm like, why? They're so useless, like you. But when I read that, I was like, oh, well, okay, then I'm okay with this now.
It just makes me want to say, why buy milk when you get the fucking cow for free? I didn't know I could make milk.
Probably not be very good, but yeah.
You say Mal's milk wouldn't be good?
Well, yeah, men's in general.
Oh, wow.
Wow,
I
Maury.
mean, well,
Have you had...
Ouch.
But hey,
have you had man milk?
Yeah, have you ever had man milk, Maury?
I will not answer that question.
It's a stressed out man that we're talking about here, and you're just putting him down even further.
The soy milk comes out. No, it's just that y'all don't have as many mammary glands as we do, so we produce a lot more.
I thought this was funny, that titty residue is real. Like Dave Chappelle and the one wife swapping bit he does where, he's like washing the clothes and he sees the bras and he's like, oh, titty residue. It's a real thing, actually.
When he does that white face shit, it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's that bit. Oh, titty residue. Also, after birth, when the newborn baby is placed on the parent's chest skin to skin, the parent's chest area has the ability to flush and heat up, even cool down, based on the feedback from the newborn's skin and their body temperature. This allows the newborn to adapt to maintaining their body temperature with extra help from the parent. This apparently is also not limited to which parent it is. Also, while you're pregnant, the amount of blood in the body increases by 50%. The extra blood ends up showing through the skin in many areas, particularly the cheeks. On top of this, hormones cause oil glands to become more active, resulting in softer, shinier skin. So the person who's pregnant actually does glow.
Glowing with blood.
I always thought that was just a bullshit comment to make people feel less bad for being so fat. Because maternity clothes are not fun.
I just think it's crazy that moms suddenly fill up with blood, they get all the shiny oils, and their boobies start making this smell.
Oh, they get bigger too, obviously.
Then it makes you smarter too. So even though it takes a toll on your body, they find that women have higher resiliency, perception, and motivation from pregnancy through birth to like a while after birth. Like their intelligence goes up, like there's a spike. Then, on top of that, the sense of smell and taste both get sharper. Scientists chalk that one up to it being a protection mechanism, like you can figure out what something is easier before you consume it.
Oh, just so you don't eat something that's like mildly poisonous because it could hurt your baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to sound like a Marvel comic or something to me.
This is why they call it the miracle of birth, and why you can change them into giant robots to fight against angels with bad motivations for the human race because they ate an apple or something, and I don't know. We got to watch that anime.
Oh, you're talking about Evangelion?
Yep. Now we know it's true nature. So, in regard to all this motherhood talk, I thought it would be good to pause and talk about pop culture for a minute.
Oh, Lord.
Mari,
What?
you like animation, right?
Oh, yeah, but not this one.
I mean, you know who these people are. You know who Chip
Yeah.
and Dale are, right?
Yeah.
So the internet this May has been abuzz with controversy concerning the return of a beloved cartoon character from the late 80s named Gadget from a popular childhood TV series named Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, which stars a cast of anthropomorphized rodents with a pet fly who run an investigative office that frequently butts heads with organized crime. Gadget is the token smart, sexy girl character on the show who, as some users say online, represents the sexual awakening of, quote, an entire generation, as Gadget does happen to be many a fan's first childhood crush.
Yeah, her and like Lola Bunny, and then the fox chick from Robin Hood, Maid Marian.
Oh.
There's like so many of those. Like,
Maid Marian may have been mine, honestly.
I mean, there's so many to choose from.
I like the Pink Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Kimberly.
Me too,
Yeah.
Kimberly.
That was my sexual awakening. And then maybe Kylie Minogue. I don't know why.
I don't know who that last one is, but the first two, wow, you guys really. Yeah, it's like, so Disney did something to this character.
They did something really bad.
Or is it the animators? Because animators are known for being very playful.
So the controversy erupted almost immediately when people saw the trailer for the upcoming Rescue Rangers film, which sees the returning cast reuniting after some years apart. Gadget sending Chip a greeting card that includes her, the person she's married to, and their 42 kids, leaving Chip and presumably the audience feeling a bit heartbroken. The controversy comes in, however, when we discover the husbando she had the children with is formerly the crew's pet mascot, Zipper the Fly.
Oh, crap. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, Gadget's a mouse. I don't know if anybody...
I thought that they were chipmunks. Oh, no, she's a mouse. Never
She's a mouse. She's like a sexy, smart mouse. And Zipper is like their dog, but he's a fly.
mind. Ugh.
See, to play devil's advocate, some people were like, hey, chipmunks and mice aren't the same species either. What's the problem? Listen,
They're a lot closer, though.
it's true, but let's forego the fact that Zipper is a fly for a moment. He's kind of like their dog.
So that's like if Velma got with Scooby-Doo.
Yes, that's what it's like.
So freakish.
I would get people pissed.
That is exactly what it's like, Mari. Thank you. Good example.
Oh my God, but there's people out there that love this shit and it's not okay.
Well, the few people that enjoy it are having quite the laugh at everyone who are
Oh,
not
God.
enjoying it.
What's interesting about flies though is that when they're born, they're not in that form. They somewhat metamorphosize
Oh yeah. Oh no.
from a maggot.
Oh no. No.
Well,
Oh.
I mean, like flies lay eggs, right? And mice don't. And so I guess like the visual that people get in their heads is like that would be inside the mouse, because obviously a mouse is a female mouse. She has a mouse uterus. So like I guess people are getting the image of like maggot mouse hybrid fetuses inside of their childhood crush mouse character, I
Or
guess.
it could be oviposition, which is where you lay eggs, like where people lay eggs that aren't supposed to be laying eggs.
It's body horror.
Yeah, it is
It
a kind
really
of
is.
it's like a sexy body horror that I'm not into.
Like some of the people on 4chan, they're straight up just like maggot.
Oh. that actually would make a great metal band name.
There is a song called Maggot Fetus. So it's kind of there.
Okay.
already.
I don't think I ever had a childhood crush on an animated character.
I had
Um,
many, but they're all embarrassing.
I do remember really liking, maybe not in like a crush-like way, but Jenny from Bucky O'Hare. I thought she was the coolest. Yeah, one of the characters was like this white cat lady named Jenny with like, I don't know, like ankle-length pink hair. I'm sure lots of people had a crush on her if they saw it. Lots of kids.
Well, I guess I'll tell you guys now, since we're such good friends. Mine was Sonic, and I'm sure everybody already knew that. And I don't even want to tell you the next one, but you guys would laugh at that too.
Who is it?
It's like practically Sonic, but in anime. Anybody
I
watch
think I had
Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vegeta, guys.
Yeah, that makes sense. I totally do them.
But he is like Sonic. He's like literally a clone of Sonic.
But yeah, you're I guess like in terms of animal animation chicks, yeah, Lola Bunny for me.
Even I can't resist Lola Bunny.
Yeah, I mean this whole thing with Gadget and Zipper is kind of Chip. He's looking at the card with like this face of like my whole life has been a lie. Like he looks heartbroken.
Not such an alpha male are you now, Chip?
It's really
42 times.
it's gross and it's kind of bizarre, but to be fair, so is human birth, because what begins as oceanic bliss becomes a horrible traumatic experience of being born. For starters, it's said that baby's first breath requires tremendous effort, needing to exert an effort similar to what it would take to inflate a balloon animal, and it's incredibly painful. This process is actually triggered by a gene in a cluster of neurons that control breathing, and an entire chain of survival systems turn on for the first time when this happens. I was told by my developmental psych teacher in college the first emotion a baby feels is disgust. According to British psychotherapist Matthew Appleton, birth can be stressful and traumatizing for babies, but it is natural. Sometimes they can become overwhelmed with feelings of rage and panic and dissociation during the birth.
So in regards to the breathing, I've always been curious, like what exactly triggers that? And mostly I'm curious because some people choose to do a water birth where they birth inside of a tub of water. So if it's triggered, like it wouldn't be triggered until the baby's taken out of the water, right?
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
It almost never happens when they're underwater until you take them out.
It makes my weird ass brain be like, but what happens if you just like don't take it out of the water?
It means
Like,
you're
there's
a
these-
bad parent.
There's these weird unanswered questions, but I'm like, but like how long does that happen for? 'Cause I'm not saying to leave it in the water. I'm just curious.
It may take a while, like, because
What the fuck would happen?
It'll suffocate.
I think the baby will come out looking like Palpatine.
Like, what the fuck would happen?
It would die.
It would suffocate and die.
I think so too.
It would
Even-
be
like-
a prune baby.
All right, well, that answered my question, and that's horrifying. Thank you.
But it's natural.
Well, I mean, a water birth seems like it's a really, that actually seems like a really good idea to me.
That's how women have done it, like, since antiquity. Like, it's pretty natural.
And like not laying down, but like propped up.
Yeah, it's
In-
squatting
in a
in a thing of water.
Yeah, Yeah, squatting in water. And that seems like a very natural way to go about birthing. Just like that weird ass, I want to know everything about everything part of my brain that's like, but what would happen if this?
That's why we had, like, the midwives and stuff in the attendants to make sure the baby is safe. And then also to
Yeah.
take care of the woman at the same time. Because you can't, like, if you do it by yourself, it's possible, but it's very stressful on both the mother and the child.
Well, I think that's part of the question that I had is like, well, let's say like if you didn't have a midwife and you did that kind of style of birth by yourself and like something happened and you passed out, like what the fuck would happen? You would need to have someone there, right?
That it would probably be best, yeah.
Yeah, I think ever since there's been civilization, we've had midwives.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I know there's like Egyptians used brick to, squat on.
The fact that babies hold their breath when they're exposed to water is another feature that's built on top of knowing when to breathe when they come out.
I think that's fascinating.
It is pretty cool.
Like, has anyone seen the Nirvana album cover?
Yeah.
It's like my favorite one when I was a kid.
They didn't have to drown a baby to do that. You just throw a baby in the water, they just hold their breath.
A lot of times if you, like, when babies fall into water and the parents start freaking out, that's what causes fear of water and for the kid to not learn how to swim, because if you just toss the kid in the water, it'll swim around like just fine.
I think like somewhere along the line, we just don't swim enough and we kind of like lose touch with that natural
Yeah.
ability.
I mean, I wonder if it goes back to like our common ancestor. They say that we, the reason why we're not super furry is because we may have come from like an aquatic environment millions of years ago.
Speak for yourself.
Well, like when your fingers get all pruny, when you've been in the bath for a while, it actually does help grip things. That's why your fingertips get all fucking pruny.
Well, we are bizarrely hairless, and we do have that automatic instinct when exposed to water. Our feet are sort of webbed. Like you said, we do get pruny, so we can still grip things when we're moist. We are aquatic apes in some way.
But we don't get pruny on our elbows or our arms. We get pruny where we would need the grip.
Yeah, because we spent that long around water is the idea. So there is some speculation that the human species has something to do with apes that were around the water a lot and spent time in it and around it. I guess in the Sumerian myth, Enki is the god of water, so maybe he just liked that ape the best.
And we were born from water, so it makes sense.
Back to the waters of noon we go.
So the same guy, Matt, who says that birth is traumatic, says that sometimes the colicky, high-pitched screaming that babies have is an attempt to communicate birth traumas, and that babies will repeatedly reach for areas where trauma occurred, usually the head, because that's where it usually gets stuck during birth. He also explains babies feel an entire spectrum of negative emotions, anger through to fear, sadness through to intense grief, and anxiety through to terror.
Yeah, this is interesting because my sister, when she was born, she came out crooked with the umbilical cord wrapped around her neck. She couldn't breathe, basically. She wasn't crying when she came out. Now that she's older, she's overly emotional, and she constantly has the feeling that no one is really listening to her. So that's kind of interesting.
Well, Matt is saying that babies start to try to express their traumas immediately, even if they don't have the words to. So sometimes a colicky baby might be trying to express what happened to them. And so going skin to skin and listening to them rather than just talking over them or soothing them might be helpful in cases like that.
Like letting them cry it out.
Well, listening to them. Not in the other room. You're holding them and listening.
I mean, yeah, obviously, but not trying to shut them up, basically.
Yeah, not just shushing them continuously. There maybe, if you fed them, if all their needs are met, they might be trying to express something, especially if they had a traumatic birth. I had a traumatic birth.
I would also think it's interesting, too, because the cry of a newborn, right when he comes out, is usually a happy sound to adults. It's not a panicky noise. It's a sound of relief. If you've ever been, around a birth before.
Well, it means they're breathing, especially it means right when they're born.
Yeah, it's almost a celebratory feeling of relief spreads over the room. It's the only time in child's life when they're screeching and crying like that everybody has a positive reaction.
Then, after which time, male children are usually circumcised. It's the most common surgical procedure in the world, only occurring about half the time for religious purposes. Studies show that there are benefits to both removing and keeping the foreskin, but the event can usually prove to be traumatic for the baby involved.
I know that there have been studies asking, why did you decide to circumcise your child? And a lot of answers from males saying well, because I was.
Yeah,
so
it's
I think
circular logic. It's so dumb.
I want him to look like me.
So he looks so his penis is the same as my penis.
Gross.
That's a very strange reason.
Yeah.
Circumcise your child.
It's also it's weird too, because you'll see that with men that own dogs. They have a thing about neutering them. Even when it makes sense to neuter them and they're not going to breed the dog, they still have a hesitancy to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm totally against this practice. It practically is genital mutilation.
The thing with neutering a dog or any kind of, if you have your dog spayed or neutered, they put the dog under for that. They don't put children under for circumcision. They don't put babies under for this. They're very conscious the whole time.
There is oftentimes a local analgesic or anesthetic used, but this does not entirely alleviate the pain or the trauma because, apparently this is some very sensitive skin.
Yeah, but a local anesthetic is also not the same thing as being put under.
No.
They're still conscious of something happening, and it still has to heal after that. So they are conscious of a pain related to it, even if it's not immediate.
I think it has psychological effects. I mean, there is evidence for that.
Early circumcised men report lower attachment security and lower emotional stability, with no differences in empathy or trust. Early circumcision was also associated with stronger sexual drive and less restricted sociosexuality, along with higher perceived stress and sensation seeking.
They become overstimulated so quickly, so young, that they will seek out more and more sensation or stimulation, and it doesn't even have to be sexual. It becomes a psychological drive.
Well, this was from a study in 2020. So I thought, why do they do this with the foreskin? And the only obvious answer is,
Oh, Lord.
to make beauty products out of it. It's true.
Gross.
They do this.
Yeah.
Well, I would assume that has something to do with the telomeres.
I mean, it's the same kind of thing that they found that if you infuse like teenager blood into old people, it makes them slightly younger on the inside.
We talked a bit about telomeres in the blood episode, and stem cells and younger cells versus older cells and the length of telomeres. And this would probably be why that we would even be bringing this up in the first place, because there is actually some scientific backing to that.
Young blood has anti-aging effects on old people.
It essentially has anti-aging effects because the length of telomeres are still longer. Those cells haven't had to replace themselves as many times as, like, when you get older, your telomere length gets longer because, cells die and have to be born. They have to, have cell division, and you have to keep on replacing the cells that die off. So your telomeres shorten as you get older. So if you introduce young blood, essentially, young cells into it, you're basically taking on their length of telomeres.
According to Boston Magazine, the active ingredient in the Oprah-touted skin cream from Skin Medica uses foreskin fibroblasts that are used to grow and cultivate new cells. Just like one foreskin is said to be able to grow these cells for decades. But it's not just skin creams that use the ingredient. Foreskin fibroblasts are also used to help treat burn victims, help cover diabetic ulcers, and more. I wish I had known that when I had really bad duodenal ulcers. I've been like, give me some of them foreskin pills.
Can you just, can you ask for your foreskin back?
I have tried, so yes, you can.
You owe me one foreskin, okay?
It's sensitive skin.
That's what I would say if I was a dude that, was circumcised against my will. Be like, give that back. I might need that for burns.
Yeah, every dude that got unwillingly circumcised should have some free foreskin-derived product to help them at some point in their life.
Retroactive compensation for trauma victim.
I don't know. That would just mean that more people need to get circumcised.
This is true. It's a vicious cycle.
You just have to deal with your fucking adult problems on your own. Leave my foreskin out of this.
According to the Church of the SubGenius, foreskin is not the only thing society is conspiring to steal from us immediately at birth. The following is taken directly from SubGenius literature. Unlike those Christians and their tirades about original sin, the church teaches us that all of us, humans and subgenii alike, are born with original slack, an infinite supply of it, in fact. As part of their mission to suppress and subjugate the subgenii, the conspiracy starts stealing your slack from the day you were born. They have most of the slack now, despite not even knowing what it is. Paradoxically, stealing slack becomes easier the less of it there is around. To cover for all the slack they have stolen, the conspiracy has developed techniques of promoting false slack as if it were a real thing. False slack is what most people do to cope with modern living. Planned recreation, approved pharmaceuticals, prepackaged hobbies, prostitutes, support groups, manufactured lifestyles that one can buy off the shelf with no thought of participation at all. False slack merely winds the tentacles of the con deeper into your brain. False slack provides a nice illusion, but the intent is solely as a release valve. It allows you to stay sane or recharge enough to return to work and keep making profits for other people, just like days off where you earn or are given at your job. It always costs money to obtain and fades away shortly after the money's gone.
So what the fuck is slack? I have no clue.
True slack, by definition, is undefinable. It is a kind of direct perception unfettered by common sense. It is not mere laziness, rather, it is a type of active sloth. Slack, in its true form, makes happiness seem like agony in comparison. Next to slack, the nirvana known of mystics and yogis is like endless torment. Some people might call it something for nothing. But the normals, the mediocritids, the subnambulacs, the pseudo-sublands have made us believe it's something we need to work to buy. To remedy this problem, the Church of the SubGenius worships J.R. Bob Dobbs. According to SubGenius dogma, Bob was a drilling equipment salesman who, in 1953, saw a vision of space alien Jehovah 1 on a television set that he had built himself. This vision inspired him to write the pre-scriptures and found the Church of the SubGenius SubGenius. This theology holds that Bob is the greatest salesman who ever lived and has cheated death a number of times. He's also revered for his great follies and believed to be a savior of slack. He was assassinated in San Francisco in 1984, though the church claims that he has come back from the dead several times since then. According to followers of the Cthulhu mythos, Bob is a humanoid, but not human, incarnation of Gnarly Hotep.
Nyarlathotep.
Nyarlathotep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This sounds like the Epsilon program from Grand Theft Auto.
So this is pretty much like a meme religion, a joke religion.
Well, they got the image of Bob from really ancient clip art, apparently.
Yeah, it's not like a photograph. If you saw it, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's like 1950s art.
He's usually attended by his consort, the blessed anti-virgin, Connie Dobbs.
He usually has a pipe in his mouth, right?
Always. Because he smokes fropp. He smokes fropp.
I like how there's like videos about this, about the Church of SubGenius and like what is black and who is Bob, and they all use this kind of like satirical propaganda style.
It's true.
It's great. It's actually quite fun and funny.
Fropp, short for Habafroppizopoulos, is the herb that Bob smokes in his pipe and the reason he is grinning. Technically, its name is Habafroppizopius marihapsapa lupina. It is grown only in Tibet or Dobbstown, Malaysia, under very special circumstances. It grows and blooms in moonlight. It only gets you high if it's the kind that is grown on Yeti droppings or the graves of Tibetan holy men, or both. Many subgenii enjoy smoking fropp as a way to get their slack back from the conspiracy.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Oh.
And if you'd like to know what this has to do with the ancient conception of the afterlife and the creation of the human race, then please visit www.patreon.com/thewholerabbit, where your monthly donation of just $5 gets you access to all our extended episodes. I'll send you a 5x5 vinyl sticker of our cover art, and you can access our Discord server, where you can talk with the creators and fans of the show pretty much any time, day or night, unless we're sleeping or talking to space aliens on our psychic visions through the afterspace times.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Eat carrots and shoot lasers.